Hello, DM Geezer Jim back again. We're going to keep on reading through. We are doing the audiobook for Uncaged Faces of Sigil. Our next entry is Iarmid, Iarmid, an interesting story, not so much about a person but a place, and not so much about a place but a lifestyle, eating and cleaning and bathing and relaxing within Sigil. So this is a different view of the city told through the story of Iarmid. Let's get to it as usual. We'll read through first, and then we'll talk about gameplay applications, campaign ideas, and all of that in the second part of the video. So, Iarmid. Directly across the street from the Great Gymnasium, headquarters of the Transcendent Order and Mecca for those seeking enlightenment, relaxation, or neutral ground, stands a domed white marble building known as the Other Place. It was built to be a lush welcoming and reception area for guests before they went to the gym proper. Problem was, no one wanted to cool his heels there for long, not with the big enticing gym right across the street. The welcoming hall soon closed. Of course, every cipher and his brother had a hot idea for what might work better in the building. They are big on ideas. The best was the temple to an X-Factor of the ciphers. The worst ranged from all things slod to Zach's big bag of beans. But none were successful. Then an Aasimar named Iarmid moved in. Iarmid was a master masseur at the great gym who watched day in and day out as eager non-ciphers lost their appointments to faction members. Sure, they booked their rub-down, salt baths, and martial arts classes weeks in advance, but often as not, a cipher came along at the last minute and just took the slot. One of the perks of faction membership. Iarmid figured that his comrades were missing out on a lot of jink because they couldn't get past serving themselves first. In typical fashion, in other words, without a moment's hesitation, the Aasimar grabbed some towels in his rub-down table, dumping a surprise cipher onto the floor, and stood by the appointment desk of the gym. The next Burke who came in to find his slot had been taken by a cipher was led by Iarmid to a domed hall across the street. Days later, the customer returned to the gym for another treatment, but he said he wanted to go to that other place. Coin began to pour into the Aasimar's pockets, and he hired and painstakingly trained assistants to have a considerate manner and an eye for detail. Bleak Cabbalists need not apply. One day, Cipher Factal Reese herself came to see Iarmid for a quick rub-down. Hours later, she was amazed to find herself lingering in the building. With the Factal's backing, the Aasimar made extensive renovations. He even hired Harris Hatches to give his business a refined and distinctive name, but the chant in the war doggedly labeled it the Other Place. For a touch of levity and the sake of referrals, Harris counseled him to let the name stick. Iarmid has not had to compromise much else. Clever and creative, he runs his business as he sees fit. Every detail flows from Iarmid himself, from the way a client's greeted with whatever language, customs, and demeanor is most appropriate for her race and social standing, to the way she leaves, with clothes and equipment scrubbed clean and her arms full of sample products. Iarmid greets all first-time customers personally, and of course any regulars who ask for him. When he moves, the tall, striking Aasimar seems to skim just above the cool white marble floor. The strawberry blonde mane that encircles his face, a sign of his father, a Leonal Cardinal Prince from Elysium, wafts about like corn silk in a breeze. Iarmid wears overlapping layers of flimsy robes. The garments combine to form an opaque pattern of blue sky, dotted with white cumulus clouds. His tawny skin is completely smooth and poreless. Fact is, his whole face seems to glow, its completely symmetrical features giving the Aasimar a balanced, serene look. Most folks jump to the conclusion that Iarmid couldn't help but to be calm and radiant given his daily surroundings, but it's the other way around. The atmosphere of the Other Place mirrors his personality. Basically, inside's a huge circular expanse of white marble, clean, cool, smooth, and simple, and the building's 4-story high ceiling gives the large space an open, airy feeling. In the middle of the ceiling is a domed skylight beneath which is centered a large, warm, round pool surrounded by neat piles of white towels. The pool is ringed by 8 smaller round pools for therapeutic baths, which are in turn encircled by adjoining walled treatment rooms arranged like spokes of a wheel around the perimeter of the building. These 30-odd rooms are comfortable, secluded spaces, some bathed only in candlelight, others by bright glows of a tank full of light Asimon. Of course, the loudest sound heard any place in the buildings are the echo-like murmur, sighs, and the tinkle of wind chimes barely brushed by the breeze of an air method. He keeps the place fresh and well circulated. Iarmid likewise soothing, centered, soft-spoken, and light of touch. He doesn't toss the chant with customers except to ask about a client's comfort. When he performs the massage himself, he uses his cool hands in a gentle but thorough manner and speaks in hushed hypnotic tones. Feel yourself melting into the table. Iarmid's especially pleased when a client drifts off. He leaves them there to nap, checking back from time to time like a concerned father. The Asimir is also busy behind the scenes, silently making the rounds of the place, making sure everything is just so. Many are the times he cleans up after the cleaning crew or seamlessly steps in to take over a treatment when he feels an assistant's not doing his best. But ain't even the most regular customers have ever seen Iarmid riled by anything. Once welcomed, every client is taken down a corridor directly off the front entrance to a private room where she gets undressed. Here, all customers don the same style of soft, thick, white robe and slippers, sized and altered according to each race. What's more, they must divest themselves of all weapons and urges to use magic. Just in case a Burke doesn't play fair, silent but muscular guards, Barire and Equinal Cardinals are stationed throughout. The idea is to make everyone equal in appearance and power so that all can relax. During a visit, Assad can have as much or as little contact with others as she likes, flipping up the deep hood of the robe if she wishes to remain anonymous. What's more, all treatment rooms can be made fully private with a wall of iron or a wall of stone. Treatments are designed to help rid the mind of stress and the body of wounds and impurities in order to bring the two more in line with each other. Most clients are weary adventurers who've seen too much of the plains and are in need of healing and a great deal of cleanup. Others are high-ups of Sigil with the weight of Mount Celestia on their shoulders who would just do with some pampering. Of course, sensates just love the treatments at the other place, geared as they are to pleasing the senses. The treatments fall into 5 categories. First come the cleansing and therapeutic baths in one of the 9 round pools. The water ranges from hot and churning to warm and calm to cool and cleansing. Various pools contain mineral salts, scented oils, diluted holy water, and even a touch of acid for encrusted scales. No matter where a body takes a dip here, the bath's a languid, restorative experience. Burks who can't quite wake up afterward are led to a treatment room for an invigorated and icy shower. Second are the popular skin treatments, which include scale scraping, fur grooming, and wing smoothing. During each stage of the process, a steam method releases clouds of moisture to soften a body's exterior and purge impurities. A chamomile-soaked cloth strip is draped over the client's eyes or nearest approximation. Then comes the sweet cleansing lotions massaged into the skin with goat hair brushes, tricolored mud packs to bring the skin to equilibrium, salt and oil rubs, Thurin seaweed wraps, or marathon sessions of fur detangling, done with the lightest of touches. Nail, claw, and talon treatments are similar. Clients sit cushioned in throne-like chairs, lowering their feet into attached foot baths, and drink from mugs of herbal tea, when their hands are free, of course. The staff members clip, sharpens if desired, and polishes, smooths out skin calluses with pumice stones, applies heated lotions, and brings the treatment to close with a limb-mellowing massage. For those in need of a different kind of attention, Iarmid offers healing, body realignment, and acupuncture. He's got his standing appointment with Autochon the bell ringer. The Burke lugs around so much heavy armor that he needs regular stomach-jolting spinal tweaks. The Asimir treatments can also help a wounded sod recover from minor injuries and poisons. His servile Cardinal's assistant, a furry satyr-like creature named Leanis, has a touch that instantly heals all poison or contamination. Leanis is also adept at sticking quill spines, they're more flexible than needles, he says, into a body in just the right place to relieve tension. Acupuncture therapy. Finally, the most popular service available at the other place is the full body massage, said to make even a Yugoloth purr. Iarmid's a master of the technique, but a basher can't lose even with an assistant. 4-armed Reeves, all of them. In a darkened room, the client lays in a thick heated towel on a padded table. The white-clad masseuse applies a scented oil and begins rubbing in a gentle hypnotic pattern. An hour later, the staffer murmurs thank you and wraps the client in a soft, warm blanket, leaving her to drift away peacefully like a spirit in the deep ethereal. A massage connoisseur might also choose a feather stroking from a winged ill-end or a silk or suede glove brushing. Some cagers like to look down on the other place, quick to dismiss the importance of Iarmid's business. They don't see a need for such leisure or pleasure, and besides, similar services are offered in the great gym right across the street. Iarmid is earnest and serious, confident that he meets an essential need. A cipher through and through, the Aasimar knows that if thought and action are to be united, a body's got to be centered, sound of mind and flesh with no distractions. On this cross page, it does have a little bit of an ad, probably something built out by Harris Hatches. Yes, bring this flyer to Iarmid for a free bath, Harris Hatches. The other place, it's great, with great pleasure that we announce the Adventurer Special. The Pool of Radiance, a refreshing soak in the bubbling waters from the sweetest depths of Oceanus, warmed by luxurious light from the brilliant plane of radiance. Followed by a glistening steam rub. Our method will steam the poisons from your skin, leaving it dewy soft, followed by your choice of lotions. Perurial's Vanilla, Batorian Firewater Blend, or Lunia Coral Gel. You also get a hand or foot massage. Enjoy a blend of sugar teas from the slopes of Arborea while we file, trim, and scrape your nails, or lose yourself in a soothingly warm mud pack. Gentle body stretching. Shields, helmets, and heavy mail can make the sturdier basher droop over time. Let Iarmid himself gently put right the wrongs done to your weary body. Listen for the pop. And then, last but not least, is a Reeve rub down. The crowning touch performed by one of our four-armed masters. Our trained masseuse will knead your sore muscles until you're soft and loose as a chewed noodle. A complete package guaranteed to put a healthy mind in a healthy body. So Iarmid is an Aasimar, now a playable race in 5e. Back in the day, it was not. It was more of a non-player character monster class, so to speak. But Iarmid can be found in the other place, a spa across from the Great Gymnasium in the Market Ward. If you're role-playing Iarmid, he's a gentle, soft-spoken, patient, and thoughtful. When someone asks him a question, he pauses to consider his answer before responding. He's very tolerant, accepting, and almost impossible to anger. However, his sense of responsibility compels him to correct any problem or injustice at the other place. Should a fight break out at the other place, the Bar-Ire and Equinal Cardinals at the other place do most of the fighting. Iarmid abhors violence, but he'll protect himself and his clients with his quarterstaff, inflicting as little damage as necessary to disable, disarm, or restrain the aggressor. He's been connected to Autocon the Bellringer, Estevan, Harris Hatches, Koei, and Kylie in the past. So that's our reading. Quite a thorough reading for a spa treatment. So what does this mean for our games? What does this mean for our campaigns? Mostly flavor, mostly content. Sigil is a place in the inside of it's a torus, as you will. Sits above and beyond everything else. There's a few elemental vortexes, but we don't have running water in the city of Sigil for the most part. Maybe your richer places probably do. There's some magical stuff, some cisterns, some gravity stuff, but by and large, most people aren't sitting around their house taking baths. So this is harking back a little bit more to our older ages in history, the social aspect of going to your Roman bathhouses, those kind of that kind of a situation. And the other place is a really, really well detailed look at self-care in the city of Sigil, in the Planescape multiverse. It's an opportunity to kind of step back from killing and slashing and hacking and fighting and looting and all of that, to enjoy a spa day. We always joke about the beach episode within a D&D campaign. Well, in the case of Sigil, it could be a spa day episode at the other place rather than the Great Gymnasium, where the Transcendent Order, the Ciphers, are primarily responsible. But, more than anything, I think this little story, like I said, takes us out of adventure mentality, gives us some role play opportunity, gives us some flavor content, as it were. Some fluff, some stuff like that. I think it's really fun and important to occasionally have those moments of levity, getting out of the trenches of the blood war and going for a nice hot bath and massage, just to point out, the contrast of these events will help make sure that the blood war stays bloody. Being able to balance out the adventuring with a massage or with a spa treatment gives you that lens, gives you that context, that contrast that we need. When your players are fighting, do nothing but fighting, it gets rote, it gets boring. It has the possibility to get boring, to become routine, to lose its sense of adventure and wonder. The other place in Iarmid's, the entry on Iarmid and the other place gives us an opportunity to present a contrast, to give our players a day off. Also, the location in and of itself, because it's not driven by a faction necessarily, can be a great neutral ground for meetings, things like that. Even though it's a story about an Asimir that runs a spa, don't just sell it short as a story about an Asimir that runs a spa. Great location for interaction, great location for adventure hooks, a great experience to give you the contrast against adventuring all the time. When your players have something good to look forward to, then the bad isn't as bad. When you have the relaxation and the tension, you want to be able to draw between the two. Kind of like when we joke about when you're running a horror themed campaign, you still want to interject humor once in a while. You want to interject brightness once in a while, so you can keep a balance. This is offering us the same stuff within the city, but interesting book, or excuse me, interesting story. But as we kind of spoke about in the last video, we're starting to see more of these non-player characters and more of these stories and the themes that are presented in each of the entries interacting with each other, building a bigger and bigger story. I know I'm doing this in audiobook, but if you're enjoying it, y'all, I strongly recommend that you add this book to your collections. Read through it front to back. You're going to see a lot of really awesome campaign stories and ideas that will appeal to you and your version of Planescape and your players' interests when you take the book as a whole. But hey, thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Likes, follows, subscribe, shares, all those cool things are there. But more than anything, thank you for your time. Your time is a valuable thing, and I appreciate you sharing it with me. Hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you back for more in the series soon. Take care.